A man is with a woman and meanwhile, another man is watching everything. They then continue with that, but at that moment, the man's wife starts to come down the stairs. The other man then tells the man that, and then they start trying to disguise what he was doing. The wife then goes to the man and then asks who that woman was. The man doesn't know what to say, and then another man says that that was his girlfriend. The wife then said that woman was too beautiful to be with him, but the man tells her not to say that. The woman then says that she likes simpler people, and another man says that they have been together for a long time. The wife then says that she didn't mean to offend the other man by saying that, but he says that he wasn't offended, because the woman is really very beautiful. The man then tells the other man that he should be leaving by now, but the wife says that she really liked the woman. The other man then thanks her and says he had a proposal for her, but the man said he should go to work soon. The wife then tells her husband to let the man speak as she was in no hurry. He then says that the woman could be the maid the wife was looking for. The wife then says that that was a great idea and that the woman could work for her. The man then says that that was a really great idea and that they should hire the woman, but she says she wasn't looking for a job. The wife then says that she was sad to hear that, but the man says that she should rethink that, because if she worked there, she would have many benefits, in addition to being able to live in that house, because he knew that she needed that. The woman then says that she would accept the proposal, as she needed to help her mother. The wife then says that this was great news, so she could have more time to go shopping and take care of herself. She says that the woman would take care of her house and her husband. She says that her husband could be a very difficult person at times, but that she would soon get used to the things he would ask. The man then says that she could not worry as she would receive very well, and the other man agrees. The wife then says that she would show the woman the kitchen, as she would spend most of her time there. She then proceeds to explain to the woman how she likes things done, and the man closes the door. He then celebrates with another man, saying that he deserved to receive an award, because that was a great idea. He says the other man was genius and he deserved an award for it. The other man then says that he would want the man's help for that. The man then says that he deserved to be paid for what he had done, so he gives him the money. The other man then says that that was too little and that his silence cost more than that, otherwise he would tell the man's wife. The man then says that he would give his employee more money, just because he would be able to have the woman in his house every day. Sometime later, the woman was changing when the employee starts watching her. She then asked what he was doing there, tells him to go away. He then tells her not to make any noise, but she asks who let him into that room. He says they needed to be together as the wife thought they were a couple, but the woman says she knew the man had paid him to keep silent. She then says that he couldn't threaten her, but the man says that in that case he would tell his wife. The woman then apologizes to the man for having treated him that way and says that he could sleep there, but not in the same bed. He then said that he didn't need to sleep in the same bed as her and that he just wanted a kiss. She then says that he was very cheeky and that she was his boss's wife and that's why she would tell the man everything. He then says that if she told the man, he would tell his wife everything. She then agrees to kiss him, but that he needs to close his eyes. This makes him very excited, so he closes his eyes. He then asks if it would take her long to do that, and then she puts her fingers in his mouth. He then asks if that was all it was, and she said that that was all he was going to get. The clerk then says that's fine and says she tasted good. She then tells him to get out of there, and the clerk says she could have that bed all to herself and leaves. She then says that she was very disgusted by what she had to do. Later, the man goes into the man's room and sneaks into his bed. He then wakes up the man and then he asks what employee wanted. The employee then says that the woman was waiting for him in the other room. This makes the man very excited, so he quickly gets out of bed. They then change places, the employee takes the man's place and the man goes to the woman. At this point, the wife wakes up and says she was excited to be with the man. She then gets mad at him and says that she couldn't believe he was pretending to be asleep. She gets furious and goes to sleep. Sometime later, the woman was together with the man in the kitchen and she asks him if he likes his outfit. He says she looked beautiful, and at that moment, his wife calls for the man. She enters the kitchen and asks how her husband was. He says he was fine and asks how his wife was doing. The wife says that she was very happy to have spent the night with the man, but he doesn't understand and asks what she was talking about. She then tries to get the man to remember what happened and starts talking about what they had done last night. He then says that he now remembered and wonders where the clerk was. She then says that she had just seen the clerk and that he looked very tired. She asks if the employee had worked late last night and the man said he was sure of that. He is furious with the official, but tries to hide what he was feeling. The wife then asks why her husband is so angry, but the husband says he was angry because I am an employee and I knew he would not receive more. The wife then asks if the woman knew if the employee had worked late and she says yes, as she was working hard on her boss's property. The wife then says that now she understood what was going on, and the woman says that the man couldn't be mad as the employee was just helping him. The man then asks the woman if she didn't have work to do and tells her to get out of there. The wife then tells her husband not to get mad at the employee, as he knew the employee was good at what he did. The woman then asks if the man appreciated the employee's help, but he says that if the employee appeared in front of her, he would regret it. The woman then says that by the looks of it, they weren't the only people who had a good night. The man then tells her to cut it out and get back to work. She then said that she didn't understand why he was in such a bad mood, but the man says that he didn't care about that anymore and that he would leave. Sometime later, the man was with his wife and she was saying that she didn't feel very well. The man tells her to sit on the couch, but at that moment she ends up passing out. He then gets desperate and calls for the woman, asking her to bring a glass of water. She brings a glass of water and asks what happened, but the man says he didn't know, as she had passed out. The wife then starts to wake up and the man says he had been very worried about her. She then asks what happened and the man says that she had passed out when the two were going down the stairs. The wife then says that she had taken a pregnancy test earlier and it was positive. The man then is surprised by that and asks how that was possible. She then asks if that wasn't the man's dream and asks why the woman hit him. The woman says he should have reacted better. The man then starts to fly into a rage and wonders where his employee was. He starts screaming, calling for the employee, and tells the woman he can't have a child. This makes the wife very surprised, and she says that she was pregnant by him. The man then starts to get desperate and screams, calling for the employee. The employee then appears and asks what happened, and then the man says he would pay for it. He says the clerk should tell the truth about what he had done, but the clerk says he didn't know what the man was talking about. The man then says that the truth was that the scenario had gotten his wife pregnant. Listening, and his wife is very surprised by that. The woman then says that things were getting good, but the wife says that she should stop it. At that moment, the wife gets furious and tells him to explain right away what was going on there. The man says that he had just realized that he couldn't have a child. The wife then asks when did he find out about it, and then the employee says that he could explain everything to the wife. The man tells him to be silent, but the clerk says the man was having an affair with the woman. This made the man very angry with the clerk, and so the wife asks what the man had done. The man tries to explain further. He soon says that his wife had slept with the official. She says that she had never done that, because she had not cheated on the man, but the employee says that she had indeed slept with him. The woman then says that when the wife was having fun, she wasn't with the man, but she says she would never be with the employee. She then asks, how could the woman be sure of that? She said that she knew that, because the man was with her, and tells the man to tell the truth right away. He then tells her to cut it out, as they would end up losing the money. The wife then gets mad at them and screams at them to get out of her house. The man tries to say that he loved her, but she doesn't listen and closes the door. The clerk then tells her to sit down, and then he says he could take over her child. She then gets mad at the clerk and says he was helping her husband cheat on her, and then she tells him to get out of her house. He then says he had nowhere else to go, but the woman tells him to get out of there. He then says that he would not leave there, because that was his son, but she throws him out of her house.